Hi, everybody. Thank you for joining me once again for Get Your Money Right with Yvonne. I'm Yvonne. How is it going? Listen, we want to start these off first of all by asking you, how are you doing? How are you faring? How are things? We just want to acknowledge that there are struggles. Everybody has challenges of differing kinds, obviously, but just know this is a place where we're thinking about you and hoping the best for you, and just know you got somebody out there who cares. Okay, just wanted to throw that out there for you. Alrighty. So what's new with me? Well, not a whole heck of a lot. A few things to share with you. First of all, I just love this is my piggy bank. So, as I've told you before, what I like to do is, as much as humanly possible, I'm going to pay with cash. Every paycheck, take money out, put it aside in my wallet, and it just forces me to think, okay, what am I spending money on? Do I really need whatever it is I wanted to buy? And just think it through, because the money in my wallet, that's it. Of course, I could get some more if I needed to, and somewhere in the back of my head, I know that, but that is something I do not wish to rely on, because for me, to stay on track, having fun with life, and just making sure I'm putting away as much as I possibly can for retirement is very important to me. Okay, and so I just try to be mindful of all those kinds of things, right? The other thing I wanted to share with you, I'm bored. That's an odd thing to say, isn't it? Okay, so let me explain myself just a little bit. So, what I have tended to do over the past several years is be aware of what I'm spending on clothing. And, now that I'm working from home, it's not like I need a whole business wardrobe, right? You need a few things, because when I go into the office to meet with some of our higher ups, then, I have to be mindful of how I'm dressed. But for the most part, that's not the case at all. I can work in t-shirts, sweats, and who's gonna know unless I have a client call, and then you dress up from here, right? So nobody knows I'm wearing sweatpants. I have a nice shirt on, or a nice top blouse, and just kind of go with that. So why I say I'm bored is that I would go to a store like Kohl's, right? You'd find a t-shirt that you liked, and you get it in all the different colors. Boring, yeah, I know. But for 2 or 3 years, it was okay, right? But now I'm like, you know what? I just don't want to look at those anymore. So I got a little cash stashed to the side. I always have a little bit of something to be able to take care of that. So I think I'm going to one of those, discount outlet type stores, and just get myself a few things. It's just nice to treat yourself. You know, Preparing for retirement is not about constantly denying yourself. We have a life to live, right? And we want to be comfortable, we want to be happy, and just keep all of that in mind. And I try to be cognizant of that. And if I want to go get myself a fancy schmancy cup of coffee, I will do that. And I need some more tops because I'm bored, so I'm going to take care of that too. But it's just a matter of prioritizing. That's what life is about, right? Prioritizing. You've got your wants, you've got your needs, and sometimes you just have to have a small splurge. So just remember all of that. And the reason why this kind of came up for me this particular week is that I was reading, as I tend to do, I'm reading stories about preparing for retirement. And there was one article that and I've seen this type of thing a number of different times, and I just wanted to make sure that we chat about it in this forum, right? So, people who are using their retirement account as an emergency funding source. And oh my goodness, please, whatever you do, stop that. Whatever you can do to prevent that from happening, do it. Because what you're doing is you're robbing from your future. You got to look at it that way. Robbing from the future. What do I need to do to keep from taking money from this safe spot, safe place, whatever? Just whatever you can do, don't do it. Because, I've shared with you before, I used it. It wasn't necessarily a piggy bank. It was just easy to get to. So I did it. I paid it back. I paid it back with interest. But I had lost all of the ability to compound that money, right? And had I left it for the 20 years that since I took it out, it would have been worth so much more than it is today. And just, you don't know, nobody told me that's how this all worked. I just didn't know. I thought, take the money, put it back, it'd be all good. Well, it's nice to put the money back, but I diminished the value of that money by taking it. So by using that money as a source, I know stuff happens. Believe me, I know. That's why I got to the point where I personally looked at my paycheck, and my paycheck was after I had already put money aside, almost 25%, right, to fund my retirement. All of that, it's gone from my paycheck. I don't see it. I didn't really know anything about it. Then here's this money. Now, what do I need to do? You pay yourself first. That's always the first thing. So I knew how much cash I wanted to have out of each paycheck. I knew how much I wanted to put into a savings account, because I have a savings account for money for tax time. In case I owe anything, there is that money. I can access that to pay any potential tax liability that I might have, me or my husband might have. So that's taken care of. Then I put money aside for insurance, car insurance. The house insurance comes from my payment, so I don't have to worry about that. But the car insurance comes, and I have money set aside. I pay that twice a year. It's cheaper for me to do that than to do monthly. So I put money aside to be able to pay for that. And the rest is, well, what do I want to do? Well, every 2 weeks I get a massage. Oh man, do I need that. That is my therapy. So I put that money away, and then I also put money aside for pedicures. I like to do that once a month. It's all about treating yourself, enjoying your life. We don't want anybody to feel like you are deprived. Do something for yourself, whatever that happens to be. Just put that money aside so that you have access to it when you need it, when you want it. And that's how I paid for our driveway. We had that resurfaced last year. So money I was putting aside, cash. It was so funny because, maybe funny is not the best word, but I go into the bank, and one of the tellers, the bank that I was using, sweet lady, she goes, ma'am, I see you're taking this rather large amount out, and may I ask what it's for? And I'm thinking to myself, what? Okay, well, paying for a driveway. Well, is this a reputable company? Is this, and I can't remember what other question she asked. And on the one hand, I'm like, this is really kind of nosy, isn't it? On the other hand, I'm guessing that there are people who've been scammed, and so the bank was just looking out for my best interests. And from that perspective, I had to say, this is very nice. I thank you. I said, yes, we did research. This vendor came as a recommendation to us, so that's how we did it. And I won't be coming back to you saying I got scammed. I want my money back from you, lady banker. No. And the fact is, she had to do all this because I'm guessing at some point in time, somebody has come back to say that they have been scammed. And how do they get their money back? Well, it was cash. And, I don't know what might have happened. And I don't want to speak to that or anything like that. But I'm guessing that it's happened. And so I have all these places that I stash money. And I'm just ready for the inevitable. And so all of us need to get into that habit. I know it's hard, it's a struggle. It took me years. Okay, if we're going to be real about it, it took me decades to get to the point where this is what I do. This is how I make sure I don't have nasty little surprises where I need to come up with cash. So just something for you to think about, something for you to look into. But whatever you do, please, please don't go to your IRA, your 401k, whatever alphabet soup we're all using to put money away for retirement. That is not your emergency savings. That is your buying yourself into a freer lifestyle, post retirement. It's not fun money. You got to look at this cash as funding yourself, funding your lifestyle, funding your everything for 30 to 35 years in retirement. So the only way you're going to be able to have that freer retirement is to put that money away. So whatever you do, please, please, please do not use it as an emergency savings account. Things to think about, right? And I'm trying to think anything else that I read about that situation. No, and I didn't start this by asking, you are putting money away for your retirement, correct? Make sure to go to your employer and take care of that as quickly as you possibly can. And in many instances, employers will help you put money away for retirement by matching some portion of it, whatever it happens to be. What's mine? 4.5% my employer will put toward my retirement. And I'm very grateful for it. People say, oh, was that all? Well, guess what? It's better than nothing. I will take it and be grateful. Retirement is something we all aspire to, or at least most of us. I don't want to speak for everyone, but when I'm done with the 9 to 5, it will just be nice that whatever job I do, it's because it's something that I'm passionate about, right? That's just living my passion. That's what it's all about. Living for today, but also living for tomorrow. Okay? Now with that, we try to keep this within 10 minutes to 13 minutes. So I'm going to sign off by saying thank you so much for joining me once again for Get Your Money Right with Yvonne. And if you'd like to, feel free to subscribe. And when I do them, then they come directly to your email, and you can watch them at your leisure or share them with friends and family, anybody you think might benefit from them. So thanks again. We will see you next time, okay? You take care. Bye-bye.